Number 2, with spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Terran. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by the name of MMA. And spawning up to the top right as our red Protoss, he goes by the name of Mao's Manor.
Whirlwinds. We've seen lots of command center first. If there's one map it's pretty good on, it will be this one. But then again, if MMA goes for the command center first and Mana goes for the same build he tried to pull in the last game, MMA is going to be in trouble here.
Yeah, he is. Whirlwind, certainly. I mean, for me, it can be a volatile map, and it can be a map that has, you know, wild swings, but it also can be one of those maps that you play standard as well. There's so much variance on this map, depending on spawning locations, depending on a lot of factors. Scouting patterns, for example. So we'll see how players want to open up. Mana's just going to go for Gateway.
And I think we're going to see a command center first again here out of MMA.
Yeah. It's the map to do it on.
Yes, definitely. I wonder if there could be a good way to really try and punish this as Protoss player. If you know that there is a very good chance that it's coming. We mentioned it before, Sase and Naniwa are really able to pull off some of those great cannon rushes.
Yeah.
But they really are the only two players who managed to pull it off.
And even then, sometimes, well, you don't see it too often, but they certainly make it work. MMA now grabbing that command center first. And no gases down just yet for Mana, so he is going Gateway into Nexus. A pretty darn economical opening as well here. So both players pretty much level pegging. MMA with a slight economical lead, not much.
Whirlwind is the new Tal'Darim.
Yeah, man. It's actually, if you think about it, it's pretty similar. It's
not really.
Well, I mean,
it's a 4-player map. You start in the corners, but other than that, bases and overlay.
For me, looking at the rotational symmetry, I'm like, no, how lovely it is.
Imagine if Tal'Darim had a single watchtower in the middle of the map. How sick of a map it would have been. Everybody will go all the way around, and like you would have this.
That'd be cool.
Sickest run. Battle cruisers run by.
Four watchtowers was way too much, man. Like, when Zerg's, like for me, if I was playing Zerg on that game, I'd be like, well, 4 lings on every watchtower, I can see the whole map.
4 lionlings. Well,
4 lionlings.
I wouldn't know about that. I play Protoss, so I sent Zealots there, and they'd always get cleaned up. No, actually, there was a nice trick. You could put them between the watchtower and a little palm trees or like yeah, and they will really hold well. But anyway, Whirlwind here. Sadly for Mana, he scouted the wrong way, so he's going to get the information very late of where MMA is, and he's not even going to be able to get any information as to how did MMA open in this game. If he sees the bunker, he should be able to anticipate that his opponent went for a very quick expansion, or at least there is a very good chance of it. Oh, and I like the SimCity of Mana here. If he gets Hellion dropped in his main, those are going to have a very hard time getting into his mineral line. I'm not sure how much this will help versus mine, so I guess not too much, because usually the Terrans, they just boost and drop into the base immediately. I guess this kind of SimCity is less effective in Heart of the Swarm than it was in Wings of Liberty, because Terrans, they have boost anyway, and they save it for the final, the finish line.
Yeah, they do.
Which is the probes.
Yeah. Far more ability.
The trophy is not weather. It's dead probes.
It's dead probes, man. You can get quite a lot with the aggression that they're actually going to put on, if he wants to. That being said, though, a lot of barracks out right now for MMA. No telltale signs of going for anything kind of Hellionish, but still could go for drops. Let's not discredit that, as Mana sets himself a Stalker in position as well.
MMA, he already knows where Mana is. He's scouting for proxies here.
Yeah.
Could he go for a command center around on the map? That's a possibility as well. He hasn't made a factory yet. He's gone into the 3 barracks, playing it very safe so far. And he's still scouting all the way around his base.
You know, the point you bring up there, if he were to, say, go down to the very bottom left-hand corner and make a command center, Mana wouldn't see that forever. It would be so hard for him to kind of account for that. Scary stuff.
Yeah, and he's going to go to the bottom right-hand side. He's just trying to go around, basically.
Yeah.
He knows that Mana most likely has the watchtower right now. And he's hoping that Mana won't have ranged units at his expansion to deny his scouts. So that's actually the case. We have 2 Zealots, 2 Guardian Zealots here, guarding the entrance. Sadly for them, SCVs are pretty fast. And the Multi-Core of Mana, halfway between his base and MMA's base, should be able to get the 1 Marine here. Yeah,
catches that. That's quite a nice pickup. Better than nothing, at least. SCV tries to move on in, gets past the first Zealot, and will poke around, but does not go up into the main. He gets whacked away once again, and Sentry denies that scout.
That's interesting. Mana, he was on only one gateway in a robo. He added on 2 gateways, and then he goes for the double forge and the twilight at the same time. So, well, obviously he's going to be starting 1-1, but does he go for charge or blink? He has a choice here. On this map, going for blink is going to be pretty good because you need those blink stalkers to help and defend against those medivac drops, which are ever so deadly. I
would say charge. If I had to pick, I really like charge against Bio on this map. Can cause a lot of problems. He's already proxying a pylon actually here.
Have you ever played against a Korean Terran? The Zealots never reached the Bioforce, man.
I have never played a Korean Terran. Maybe one in like gold.
If you did, you would like blink, not charge.
Okay, fair
That's
play.
my message here.
Thank you very much, Todd. Bring in the insight.
I like the observer here all the way up above the natural of MMA, going to be getting the good scout on exactly how many barracks there is and where MMA's upgrades are at. MMA, I do think he's going to be committing to lots of aggression with these positions here. He can drop a lot, and we do not see a third commentator just yet, so he's going to start upgrading a lot. If he has 2 barracks here, I think it would be very smart. He can still throw down a third commentator later on.
Yeah, as we have that +1-1 going to finish up very quickly here for Mana.
Well, why were you smiling? You saw the charge?
I just like charge, man.
Okay, let's see how the Zealots do.
Okay, but I mean, okay. This game's going to go on longer, in my opinion, so it will come to use later on as the High Templars are on the way. No storm started yet, but it will be very early to actually go for that. A few more gateways. Whoa, 3 more, in fact. Oh no, he just has on 2.
I think it's standard. When you're on 2 bases like this is the point in the game at the 10th minute when there is going to be medivacs out on the map. Your opponent is going to start dropping. So it's now that Mana needs to start cutting probes and make only army to make sure that he doesn't die or take economic damage. Because if he takes economic damage, even if it's 5 probes, it's huge. Because in the meantime, he cannot make any damage onto MMA's base right now. He cannot kill any SCVs. He cannot weaken his economy. And MMA, he even opted to go for the third commentator before adding 2 extra barracks. And now I think he's going to start bringing the pain.
And to your point prior, even if like those charge lots are able to close the distance, there's still Hellbats now being mixed in, and that does a lot of damage to Zealots once they're able to close the gap. Admittedly, Zealots do a lot of damage as well, but not quite as much as Hellbats, as he's sending out just Marines everywhere, keeping an eye on the parameter of Mana's base, so really trying to lock him down, but there is a War Prism up to the north at the moment.
Oh, Mana is making 2 Archons. I was wondering, why is he not making a Storm? He might go either for a huge timing, or this is what we saw from Naniwa before. Making lots of army, making sure you don't die, make sure that you get 2-2, and then from there you take a later third than your opponent almost always, but at least you're still in the game and you haven't taken damage, which against a player like MMA is ever so difficult to achieve. Oh, the War Prism!
Yeah, he's warping in 4 Zealots here. Those Vikings coming along to try and help that out, as well as ton of the Bile that's already there to deal with it. So very nicely done. Meanwhile, 4 medevacs actually looking to just power on in. Will Mana react in time? This is going to come very quickly. And MMA, oh, he moves away! He moves away just as he's about to drop. Looks like that is really going to cause Mana a lot of problems here. He's been drawn all the way to the front of his base, and now he's just going to try and target down that robo facility. Picks up and gets out. Zealots of those Stalkers too much along with that Proton overcharge.
Good enough defense here by Mana. Imagine if he had Blink, man.
Imagine if it had Blink. You're right, actually. That would have helped quite a lot.
Is Mana going for... I think he might go for a timing here. He's getting another War Prism. He's starting to move across the map. He's just got 2-2. Whoa, and MMA is going for Vikings blind.
Whoa,
you don't need Vikings against this.
He's got 4 Vikings already. They are not going to be useful in the slightest here. Army supply is 74 to 102 in favor of MMA.
Yeah, but 2-2.
A lot, but yeah, you're right. 2-2 is a big deal against 2-1
this
in the end.
It's so small compared to MMA's.
Yeah, it really does.
And no, Mana, he goes for the third base. Okay, this was a fake, but this was very risky.
Yeah, MMA positioned himself so well there.
And oh, Mana again, he started 3-3 upgrade before having any kind of area damage. Either Storm or Colossus. That's what he will need before going for the 3-3. This will not finish before there is a fight here. And MMA is almost maxed. I think this is going to go the exact way, maybe even worse for Mana than the last fight that we saw in the previous game.
MMA's macro has just been phenomenal. It's even landed these Vikings now, realizing that there's no threat of Colossus at this point. Ghost Academy is on the way to deal with this kind of Templar Archives tech, but still more Zealots try and warp on in. There's a little bit of bio left over at the back, though. MMA taking great precautions against Mana's supposed assault.
Oh, and I think he's going to be goodbye third here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he just wants to take out the rocks and take a full off-on fight. Mana's army is out of position here.
It's very out of position indeed. Those Hellbats lead. He just sends a little bit of this bio up to the north, up to the ramp to try and see exactly what's going on. A lot of Zealots, but they're kind of being choked up at this point. Some of the Archons disintegrate under the firepower of this bio as he pushes on forwards once again. There's too much firepower here. All the Zealots are charging up against one of these force fields, and that is it. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you fight against that? Oh, well.
You don't make charge lots, that's how.
You do. Todd laying down the law, you don't make charge lots.
Dropping knowledge bombs. No, but MMA just played this so well here.
Yeah, very, very well. His macro is phenomenal behind this. Taking the third base, didn't really get any gases there as well. Just powering out Marine, Hellion, Hellbat even with those Marauders.
And I think Mana is about to leave. He's not even macroing behind this. And MMA very rightfully says wrong tech. I don't think that Mana needed either Storm or Colossus. And he cut throats far too long. Yeah. And again, it's very easy to judge when you're watching, but doesn't necessarily that I will do better than him. On the contrary.
These guys very polite. Sorry, not your fault. GG, ladies and gentlemen. MMA.